There are three arguments that the male child is Jesus. First, Herod desired to kill Jesus, just as the dragon desires to kill the male child. Second, Jesus rules the nations with an iron rod, just as the male child rules with an iron rod. Third, Jesus was born, died, was resurrected, and ascended into heaven, just as the male child is born and is subsequently caught up to God and his throne. Let's examine these arguments in more detail. First, according to the Gospel of St. Matthew, Herod desired to kill Jesus. When Herod realized that he had been deceived by the Magi, he became furious. He ordered the massacre of all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity 2 years old and under. Matthew 2:16. Second, according to the 19th chapter of the Apocalypse, Jesus rules with a rod of iron. He will rule them with an iron rod. Apocalypse 19:15. Third, Jesus' ascension to heaven is recorded in the book of Acts. When he had said this, as they were looking on, he was lifted up. Acts 1:9. Now let's re-examine these arguments. First, as I pointed out in a previous video, there are also differences between the gospel accounts of Herod and the 12th chapter of the Apocalypse. Second, although Jesus rules with a rod of iron, according to the letter to the church in Thyatira, Christians share in Jesus' authority. To the victor, who keeps to my ways until the end, I will give authority over the nations. He will rule them with an iron rod. Apocalypse 2:26-27. Third, the Greek verb used to describe Jesus' ascension from earth to heaven is epiro, while the Greek verb used to describe the male child's transition from earth to heaven is harpazo. Epiro can mean to lift up or to exalt. In Acts 1:9, it clearly means to lift up. By contrast, harpazo means to snatch away. It is used in the following two passages. When they came out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord snatched Philip away, and the eunuch saw him no more. Acts 8:39. I know someone in Christ who, 14 years ago, was caught up to the third heaven. 2 Corinthians 12:2. In both of these passages, the transition is sudden, while in Acts 1:9, the transition is gradual. Also, the male child is snatched away immediately after his birth. Thus, the Apocalypse supposedly skips all the details between Jesus' birth and his ascension, which is odd in light of the centrality of Jesus' death and resurrection to the gospel message. Aside from the problems with these three arguments, there is the additional problem that the Apocalypse is primarily about the future, while Jesus' life on earth occurred prior to St. John's writing of the Apocalypse.